Welcome to 8.3 Polar Form of Complex Numbers. Our objective is to be able to convert complex numbers to polar form and vice versa. In Algebra 2, you remember hopefully what a complex number is. In case you forgot, I wrote it down here. It says any number in the form of a plus bi, where a is the real part and bi is the imaginary part. All numbers can be complex. For example, 2 could be written as 2 plus 0i. 3i, which is purely imaginary, could also be written as 0 plus 3i. In example 1, we want you to graph the following complex numbers and find the modulus, or absolute value. So for letter A, Z1 is just notation. They'll use Z to kind of indicate that you're doing polar and complex numbers. So Z1 is your point. When we're graphing complex numbers, we have the real axes and we have the imaginary axes. So when we graph the point, we want to go over 2 units and up 3. So 2 plus 3i would be located in the first quadrant. Now I'm going to pause a minute and you try letter B. So letter B would be over to the right 2, but you would go down 3, and that would be 2 minus 3i. Now if you were trying to find the absolute value, or what they call the modulus, you would be finding the absolute value of 2 plus 3i. So the absolute value of 2 plus 3i. Now, in the book they show a formula, but you really don't need formulas. If you think about what absolute value means, it means the distance from 0. So if we want to find this distance from 0, we can just simply make a right triangle and think about it using Pythagorean theorem. We went to the right 2 and we went up 3. So the absolute value of 2 plus 3i would be the square root of 2 squared plus 3 squared, which would equal the square root of 13. What would be the absolute value of 2 minus 3i? Hopefully you understand the absolute value. It's actually going to be the same exact answer, because from 0 you're still moving to the right 2 and moving a distance of 3 down. And remember, distance is always positive, so 2 and 3 are what we're going to use in the Pythagorean theorem. Let's take a look at example 2. It says graph the following equation given the restrictions. So Z is in the complex form a plus bi, but the restriction is a must be greater than or equal to 0. So remember, we have the real part, we have the imaginary axis. So if we think about a has to be greater than 0. So a is greater than 0 means basically the y-axis, but in this case the imaginary axis, and to the right. It doesn't give us a restriction on b, so we actually shade. Think of it like being in quadrants 1 and 4. Any complex number in quadrants 1 or 4 would work. You try B, and I'll pause for a moment. So go ahead and pause your video and think about how would you answer Z equals A plus BI such that A is less than 1 and B is greater than or equal to 0. So if A is less than 1, we know 1 is the real part. So we have to be to the left of the vertical line, A equals 1. And if B is greater than or equal to 0, we have to be above or equal to what we kind of think of as the x-axis. So given that situation, we have a shaded region that's a rectangular region to the left of a equals 1 and greater than or equal to b equals 0. Example 3, convert to polar using radian measurement. So z1 we used above where it was 2 plus 3i. Now we're going to convert it to polar coordinates. Well, if we think back to what I've been telling you all chapter is plot the points, don't try to memorize too many formulas. We have this scenario where we learned already that this was the square root of 13. Well, to convert to polar coordinates, the one thing that we have to do is we have to get it in a certain form, and that form is r parentheses cosine theta plus I sine theta. Now that's maybe confusing to you, but if you distribute the r, you'll notice that your r cosine theta is kind of like what we learned earlier in the chapter with x, but instead of it being x, it's actually the a value. And if we distribute the r onto the I sine theta, that's really the bi part. So we are trying to basically get this to look like a plus bi, which we already have, 2 plus 3i, but we have to use thetas and r's, because remember, polar has thetas and r's. So this is what the problem is going to look like. We're going to graph it, then we're going to find the modulus, which is square root of 13, and then we have to find theta. Well, we've already learned that the tangent of theta is equal to 3 over 2. We talked about finding the inverse. And so we have to use our calculators because it's not special. And when we do that, we get 0.983. So our final answer for z1 would equal the square root of 13 parentheses cosine of 0.983 plus I sine of 0.983 parenthesis. But luckily, in my old pre-calc book, there was a shorthand notation that would save us from having to write out so much. So what I'm going to let you do is to shortcut this, and you can write square root of 13 cis 0.983. That is the shorthand notation. And the cis, I want you to understand that the c is obviously the cosine, the I is the imaginary number, and s stands for the sine. Now I'd like you to try B. Go ahead and pause the video and see if you can figure out how to convert z to the fourth, or excuse me, z sub 4. So we want to graph -1, so over 1, and we want to go up square root of 3. So when we draw our triangle, we've got -1, square root of 3, and we have to figure out how to find what we thought of as r. So r squared is equal to -1 squared plus square root of 3 squared. So r squared is equal to 1 plus 3. R squared is equal to 4, so r is going to equal 2. So we now have 2. We have to figure out what theta is. Remember, theta is going this way. So we're going to do the tangent of theta equals square root of 3 over -1. Hopefully, you don't have to use your calculator to figure this out, and you recognize that with 2, -1, and rad 3, that this would be a pi over 3 special angle. So theta is going to be 2 pi over 3. So therefore, our final answer is that z to the fourth, or z sub 4, sorry, I keep saying that, is 2 cis 2 pi over 3. All right, one more problem. Hopefully you're understanding all this. Change z equals 4 times the quantity cosine of 5 pi over 6 plus I sine 5 pi over 6 to a complex number. In my opinion, this is one of the easiest things we'll do this chapter, because all we need to do is get to a plus bi. So we want to get this to a plus bi. We simply just distribute the 4. So 4 times the cosine of 5 pi over 6 plus 4 times I sine 5 pi over 6. And if we know that the cosine of 5 pi over 6, if we think about what that value is Add 5 pi over 6. If you're not sure, draw your triangle. We have a pi over 6 here, so this would be a 1/2. This would be a negative rad 3 over 2. This would be a 1. So the cosine would be negative rad 3 over 2. The sine would be 1/2. So our final answer would be negative 2 square root 3 plus 2i. That concludes our lesson for today. Good luck on your homework.